primary day here in New York State. A few days before the primary, the New York Times ran a story about how progressive Democrats were vulnerable from the right and conservative Democrats were going to make gains this year. Well, in a couple of key races here in New York City, that is exactly what did not happen. In District 9, admittedly a progressive district, mostly Harlem, Yusuf Salaam, one of the Central Park Five, is leading. It's a ranked choice voting, so the final votes aren't in, but he has a very strong lead, and he was running as the most left-wing candidate in the race. In Queens, sitting District Attorney Melinda Katz, the candidate the district attorney singled out by the New York Times as one who is most vulnerable to a conservative challenger, has over 70% of the vote and is absolutely drubbing her conservative challenger. In a related story yesterday, the San Francisco Chronicle wrote a story about how the doom loop is hurting San Francisco and how maybe people should stop talking about it. This is an interesting point for the San Francisco Chronicle to make because they have been leading the talk about the doom loop for many months now. My point here is that too frequently, it's not just the right-wing media, the Fox Newses and the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal, who are spreading lies about how unsafe and dangerous and failed our cities is. It's what we think of as the mainstream media. And they're doing that for two reasons. One, they're allowing conservative forces to kind of work the ref, if you will. And secondly, they want to get the clicks. And then they have the extraordinary lack of self-awareness to say, hey, maybe reporting things that aren't true isn't great. So maybe the media should spend more time telling the truth about things like crime rate, not just in big cities like in New York, but around the country. Because the truth is, crime is often worse in suburban communities, in smaller cities, and per capita in rural areas. And maybe understanding that the doom loop is very much about perceptions, or organs like the San Francisco Chronicle should recognize that by talking about the doom loop when it's not really always there, they just make it worse.